Thanks for tuning into the Finance News Network. I'm Jessica Amir. Joining us today from Aus Tin Mining is CEO Peter Williams. Peter, welcome back and thanks for joining us from Brisbane.
Thanks, Jess.
First up, Peter, Aus Tin recently kicked off a drilling program at both Mount Cobalt and Pembroke. Just briefly take us through what's proposed and what you're looking to achieve.
Sure, I'd be delighted to, and we've actually commenced the program. It's going to comprise 9 holes. We're drilling 3 relatively shallow RC holes at each of Pembroke and Mount Cobalt to test for the shear zones that we've previously demonstrated contained high-grade cobalt and nickel asbolite. We got some of our best results from those zones earlier this year. We've actually completed the 3 RC holes at Pembroke, and we're just changing the rig over to a diamond hole to test a deeper target there. We're going to also drill 3 deeper holes, 1 at Pembroke, 2 at Mount Cobalt. That's going to be testing magnetic anomalies, which previously have been untested, so very exciting from an exploration perspective.
And the results of your previous drilling at Pembroke sounded pretty interesting. Would you mind just elaborating a little further?
Yeah, sure. Look, I'd be pleased to. We've drilled a total of 27 holes at Pembroke previously, but only 3 of those holes have actually gone deeper than 200 metres, and the deepest is 300. Most holes there have intersected some level of mineralisation, but some of the notable results include from the upper area zone, 21 metres at 1.04% copper and 2.09 grams per tonne of gold. And then below that, we had 26 metres at 0.44% nickel and 224 ppm cobalt. But within that, there were some quite high-grade zones, including 1.7% nickel and 0.6% copper. Now, the geological model at Pembroke, it's similar to that across the whole of the Black Snake, where we see various zones of mineralisation. We see a nickel-cobalt sort of oxide zone surface, which, as I say, we drilled that at Mount Cobalt earlier this year. We then see a copper-gold zone with the presence of lead and zinc. And then below that, we see the potential for nickel sulfides. At Pembroke, we've actually got that entire sequence at relatively shallow depths, with nickel sulfides reported in from around sort of 70 metres. Now, if you look at the sort of the geophysics that we've done there, we see this anomalous zone of conductivity that we've generated from IP surveys at sort of depths to around 250 metres. And then below that, we see the magnetic anomaly, which I guess is the target of the deeper hole that we're currently underway with.
Great. And changing pace, Peter, there has been recent reports of disruptions to cobalt supply out of the DRC. What are the potential implications for the cobalt price?
Yeah, look, pretty interesting. Just last week, some reports came out of DRC that production from the major Komoto mine has been suspended because of uranium contamination. Now, I've read and I understand that Glencore, who are operators of the mine, are planning to install an SX-EW plant to address this contamination, but it won't be installed until next year. And as a consequence, it's predicted that a relatively small surplus from a supply-demand for 2019 could actually go from surplus into deficit. And if this was to occur, then it might be reasonable for the cobalt price to rise. Certainly more immediately, we've seen it have an impact in the last week since it was announced the cobalt price has risen to about 20%. And is currently at around $55,000 US a tonne.
Great. Peter Williams, thanks so much for the update.
Thanks, Jessica.